Hey guys, this is Isha.
Hi Amaya!
What's up?
Welcome to the Hiubang Show.
As always,
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, comment on this video, and turn the bell on.
so guys,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to endorse our channel, don't forget to
We have space here, so drop your email
at hiubangshow@gmail.com.
@gmail.com.
Anyway, so we are going to react to another. It's the same title as the one that we did for 8 Easy Peasy.
Easy peasy, yeah.
Why India will rule the
Why
world
India
by
will-
2050. This is by the European YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
It's requested by Aswagosh Anil. So without any further ado, check it out.
8 reasons why India will rule the world in 2050.
You don't have to say it. I can.
To add the
Centuries ago, no one would have believed that the United States of America would ever become a country of any significance. The US was no more than a troubled colony of the British Empire, torn apart by domestic controversies over slavery. Later that century resulting in a devastating civil war. In 1800, the United States had a small population of about 5 million and a tiny army. The United Kingdom and Spain, for example, both had populations of
Vegas?
over 10 million.
Yeah, Vegas, yeah.
Germany had about 20 million and France was close to 30 million.
This is New
The
York, right?
United States was located
Yeah,
far
New York.
away
Manhattan kan tadi
from
apa?
these
Yeah.
traditional
Building
European
itu.
superpowers. Back then, there was no reason to believe that the United States of America would possess an abundance of relevant natural resources. Because, for example, coal and oil had no meaning to society yet. Gold did, but it wasn't discovered yet on a large scale in the United States. Back then, the United States was on nobody's shortlist of superpowers in the making. It took the discovery of oil and gold and the ending of a bloody civil war to lead the United States to an impressive growth of its population and economy. And only then, when Europe was destroyed by World War I, the US could rise to stardom and develop into a true world-leading nation. Soon after World War I, the Soviet Union started developing too in a remarkable way as a military and economic powerhouse. When Europe was even more shattered after World War II, the global balance of power had turned into a rather static bipolar situation, with the US on one side and the Soviet Union on the other side.
They really go
It
through
was
every
once
country.
feared in the US that
Ini benar-benar
Japan
go through
took
every
over
country.
the role of the leading global power
baru sampai
at the
World War
lack
I.
of military
Ini masih
options.
introduction doang ini.
Of the Japanese economy in the 1990s shattered that ambition for Japan for the long term. Then China came along with its ever-growing economy and its military getting stronger every day. So now there is a troika of superpowers dominating international affairs: Russia, China, and the United States of America. I would like to add India to that short list of superpowers, and I want to make a prediction. The power of India will grow for the next decades, and it will grow faster than the other 3 superpowers. One day, perhaps around the year 2050, a moment will
So
arrive.
about 25 years. No.
30
powerful
30.
nation in the
3
world.
decades from now.
No, this is not a joke. I do realize that some people who watch this video will laugh at the idea of India becoming the most powerful country in the world, but I'm serious about the possibility, and I will support my statement with 8 reasons why India will rule the world
Oh
in
my God, we need better
2050.
chair.
Reason number
You
1.
already said that
The
many
army,
times.
with an active military of 1.4 million
First, because
personnel.
of the army.
India has the second largest army in the world.
No, I remember this building is owned just by one
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Of military
24
personnel.
storage ya kalau nggak
The
salah.
Yeah.
American army is smaller than the Indian army, And now, of course, the number of personnel does not reflect the actual firepower or the capability of waging war of a country. But when looking at more military data, India shows to be an impressive military power in many ways. When it comes to military aircraft, India is the number 4 in the world with around 1,100 fighter jets. And when it comes to battle tanks, India is the number 6 in the world with around 4,500 units. So no matter how you look at this, India is one of the largest and most powerful armies in the world. And their army is even growing bigger and bigger in the near future. Reason number 2, the nuclear option. Only 9 countries in the whole world are known to possess nuclear weapons or are suspected of having nuclear weapons. India is one of them. This is the wild card in the game of world domination. It can highly advantage the position of a country in any international conflict. No country messes with a country that possesses nuclear warheads.
Iya.
And the select few
Makanya kan ada beberapa negara kan takut kan sama Korea Utara.
Korea Utara, ya kan.
nations in the world.
Walaupun mereka
Mereka
begitu.
jelas-jelas punya kan ya kalau nggak salah.
Iya. Dan mereka they stated that they have it in North Korea.
Determines an important part of today's power of a country. High economic growth, however, determines an important part of the future power of countries. India is one of the very select few who have both a large current GDP combined with a very high growth rate of that GDP. The USA has a much larger GDP than India, but its growth is much less than India. Only China and India create this special league of countries with both a top 10 position in the list of largest GDPs in the world, combined with an annual economic growth of no less than 7%. It's precisely the already large size of the Indian economy, combined with its huge economic growth, that lifts its status into the superpower stardom. Reason number 4, scale. Because of its huge population, everything in India happens in a big manner. But it can go either way. If a crisis would emerge in India, for example in employment, even a 1% decline of jobs would have grave consequences. The Indian workforce consists of over 500 million people. If their employment would decline with only
Bukannya populasi mereka
1%,
ada 1 billion, right?
that would mean that
billion.
more than
1
5
billion kan,
million
oh.
people would lose their jobs.
Number 1 mereka
When it
Cina
comes to,
2.
for
Cina
example,
2 nih.
building large-scale infrastructure, India can leverage its huge population to get any job done. Its supply of manpower is virtually endless. Just like China, India is capable of building huge projects that no other country could pull off. Reason number 5, population growth. Now, the first
Economic growth, yeah.
Economic
reasons are also applicable to China. China too has a huge army, a huge population, nuclear weapons, and China has a very high economic growth. So based upon the first 4 reasons, one could argue that the future power of India and China would develop along the same kind of pattern, with the big difference that China has a huge lead, making it practically impossible for India to ever come close to the dominant position that China
Ini lagi
has.
festival.
Yeah.
But there are big differences between India and China that give India significant advantages. One of them is the population growth. Although the current populations of China and India are close to being the same, the Indian population growth is much higher than the population growth in China. The current Indian population growth is about 1.2% per year. Population
Gede,
growth in China is just under 0.5%. making the difference in population
Betul kan China, they have like
0.7%
one family, one child policy.
Dulu,
Kayak dulu kan.
Because of the
Malah sekarang
previous
mereka
article
kayak
being the
terbalik.
huge
They encourage people to have more kids.
kids. Oh, ya.
Karena
difference in population
the
growth.
older generation itu outnumber the younger generation jadinya.
Is going to be
The
even
older
bigger.
outnumber the
United
younger.
Nations
Jadi workforce-nya kan berkurang
Oh,
jadinya.
iya, iya, iya.
China
Sama juga
will start to
kayak Jepang.
decline as of
Oh iya, Jepang
2020.
gitu katanya ya.
The
Jepang katanya bakal
population
extinct
of India
by tahun berapa
is
katanya.
predicted to grow
Karena
for
katanya
the next
malah
50
perempuan
years.
kecenderungan kayak
In
nggak punya
2030,
Iya,
kan,
iya.
terus
according
nggak
to
mau
the
merit
United
gitu
Nations,
Banyak
katanya.
yang meritnya.
the Indian population will outrank China by
I think that's what happened though when you go to
112 million people.
Developed
That's the
countries.
entire population
Developed
of
countries kayak
Germany and Canada
cenderung
combined.
kekeluargaan itu
In
kurang.
2040,
country,
the
ya,
difference in
Indonesia.
population
No,
between
the Indonesia is
and
still
China
emerging and
has grown
developing.
to
Kita belum develop.
239
Kita belum.
million people. That's the entire population of Germany, Canada, and Japan.
Developed
combined.
countries like
In
apa namanya
2050, the Indian
Jepang,
population will beat
Korea,
the Chinese by
Amerika, itu
357 million. That is the entire
people who
population
wants
of
to make
Germany,
families are
Canada,
a
Japan,
lot. Have
France,
decreased greatly
Australia,
lah.
and North Korea combined. So again,
Ooh, this is a very
that's
nice
not the
concept.
size
Is
of
that real
India.
or is that concept bar?
It's only how much bigger
Yes.
India will be than China. So the coming decades, India's population is likely to get much larger than China's,
Yeah.
leveraging its economy and military to an unprecedented scale that has never been seen before on this planet. Reason number 6, ICT. This is another reason that gives India an advantage over China.
What is ICT?
What is
China
ICT?
has been specializing, if you will, in traditional industrial economic activities. The
Industrial?
Chinese economy has a
Industrial
significant
economic.
focus on manufacturing physical products and creating buildings and infrastructure. Now, I wouldn't want to say
Yeah.
that manufacturing and building are not innovative industries. It's they are. But India made another choice in its economic focus. India decided a long time ago it wanted to be the world's largest supplier of entertainment and ICT,
What is ICT?
and it's on schedule to complete that mission.
What is ICT? Let me check.
Banyak orang bilang
The Mumbai area is home to the largest movie industry in the world, and the Bangalore area is now the second largest outlet of ICT companies in the world.
Yeah.
It's predicted that Bangalore will even become bigger
That's
than
it.
the actual Silicon Valley area in California. By making these choices and fulfilling these ambitions, India is perhaps more equipped for future economic renewal than China is. Reason number 7, freedom. Another reason that gives India an advantage over China is freedom.
Yeah.
India is the world's
India lebih
largest
toleran lah
democracy.
menurut gue.
China
Oh, China
is
nggak
not a
toleran nih,
democracy
Cos.
and doesn't want to be one.
Masih
Although, of course, India struggles
persecution
with poverty, corruption,
towards religion itu
injustice,
lumayan masih, even
it
Christianity
still
masih lumayan
is
di
a
persecute di situ.
democracy, and its economic model
Kalau if you go to the
revolves
bigger
around
city
the free
masih okay,
market
but if
system.
you go to the rural area itu masih
Seen
lumayan
from
parah.
that perspective, India is more likely to follow in the footsteps of the United States than China does. And that might be one of the reasons why India's economic growth rate is now overtaking China's growth rate. Imagine all of the people of India eventually becoming as wealthy as Americans. It would mean that the Indian economy would be very similar to the American economy. However, it would be 4 times bigger. Reason number 8, the underdog. What countries have been global superpowers for the past 5,000 years? I'll name you a few. Egypt, Greece, Italy, France, Spain, the United Kingdom, the United States, Russia, and now China. To be honest, China is sort of reprising and reinstating its former position. China has always been one of the most powerful countries in the world, but for the past century it has stood in the shadows of the United States. And now it's waking
Oh,
up.
did you know the US now is applying a 25% tariff on all product made in China?
India is
Oh, yeah?
almost
Yeah,
none
that's why the
of
economy now is
short
kind of
lists
like not
of
really that
future
good.
superpowers that
And it's
will
affecting
dominate
our
the
country
world.
also.
Only
Oh, jadi
very
kalau ada
few
barang
people
impor dari
believe
Cina,
Ke Amerika
kena
25%.
25%.
Gede itu.
India
Iyalah,
is
gede
the
banget.
underdog. It's the often undervalued and
So Donald Trump really
underappreciated
wants to
country
kill
that
China's
many
apa?
people associate with poverty
Trade
and
Okay.
corruption.
perdagangannya mau dihancurin.
The focus of countries like the US and China is on each other. The US and China are trying to compete and outdo each other constantly, just to make sure they have an advantage over the other. And up to now, they haven't seen India as a serious competitor for world leadership, and they won't be seeing that for the next 10 years. And that is exactly what India needs to quietly grow its economy, modernize its society, and to gain military strength, up to a point where India will be the number 3 in the world in the year 2025. And then India will be far too big for the US and China to turn the tables, and then India will be well on its way to world domination. Do you think this is nonsense, or do you think it's possible for India to take on the role as world leader in the second half of the 21st century? Please share your opinion in the comments. Everyone is interested to
So that was very interesting because like while we were watching the video,
Yeah.
we were discussing
We're
some
kinda discussing.
we were discussing some a lot of the political
Yeah.
issues that is happening right now
Yeah.
around the world. So I believe this is what's happening right now. This is what's today's date. Today is the 14th of May. So this is trade war that is happening right now between the US and the China. How US is applying all made in China product about 25%. 25% tariff, pajak.
Yeah.
And also, did you know one of the executive of Huawei is now being arrested in the US?
Oh, well,
Because
he's
of fraud.
He's in US.
She's
in the US.
Yeah,
for
and she,
residency.
yeah.
Oh.
So there's a lot of things that's going on
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
between
yeah.
China and the States. So I believe India can be the country that nobody expects.
Just like the video said,
Yeah,
the
I agree.
underdog.
I agree.
Underdog, yeah.
I agree, though. I agree.
While,
That's what.
while those two countries fighting, slowly the Indian is like emerging
Yeah.
to become a leader.
Yeah, and also like because a lot of actually China can be quite big, but due to its political issue, due to a lot of the current events, many countries do not like accepting China's money. Have you ever heard of the scandal, China money scandal? It's called Chinese money. So basically, this is the idea of Chinese money is any countries who wants to develop kayak makanya kan a lot of people are rejecting the idea of Chinese money in Indonesia because I'm not sure many people thought that our president Jokowi is
Yeah.
accepting Chinese money.
Okay.
The idea of Chinese money is not because they're Chinese, no. Because Chinese will give you everything for infrastructure for free. However, if you cannot pay in so how many years, they will take ownership. But can you imagine a government asset is being taken over by China? That's why the opposition
The opposition
presidential candidate, Mr. Prabowo was the one who said that, you know what, he was nakut-nakutin orang gitu. This is what's gonna happen. So, looking back at this video, I believe that many people are not looking at India as a serious threat.
Yeah.
I believe India should be looked at as a serious threat. I think this is what I thought, and hopefully, maybe after India is going to be Indonesia. Cross your finger, because we're the biggest country in Southeast Asia,
Yeah, indeed.
right? So
We
we have the
have-
potential power, but a lot of the lack of growth that we are experiencing is due to many political reasons, and hopefully we can, and also a lot of the right wing of Indonesian, the right wing kan,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
religious, it is kind of on the growth right now. So it's kind of like, because I'm mostly I identify myself as a Democrat, so I'm kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm not really too liberal. I'm also towards conservative in a sense. So I'm hoping that India can teach Indonesia what it
About
means to be
the-
diversity, what it means to be the meaning of freedom, the
Yeah.
meaning of a lot of things, you know.
Yeah. And I hope in the future maybe our leader, our president can have like more closer relationship with Indian
Yeah.
Indian people, so that Yeah, just like you said, Indian can teach us
Yeah.
on how to treat diversity.
And thanks to doing this channel, actually we learn more about India. Because when we first do this, we thought of, to be honest with you guys, don't kill me. We thought of India as something that is not seen as serious. Because a lot of the Indians are identified by their Bollywood
By
entertainment.
Bollywood entertainment.
Right?
Still, yeah.
We didn't really look at other
Until
aspects.
to this date,
Yeah.
most
So,
people think India only about the Bollywood side.
yeah, but there's a lot more on the other side, on the IT side, on the growth side,
Yeah.
a lot of things. So anyway, there was a very, very educational video. Love it. And my only complaint, the guy was talk too slow. That was my
And
only
too
complaint.
dramatic.
Too dramatic. But it was very entertaining,
Yeah.
nevertheless.
Thank you for watching, guys. See ya.
See ya. Bye. Dadah ya.